All right, today we're going to talk about section 5.5, the second part of that, which is synthetic division of polynomials for algebra 2. So first thing I want to talk about is actually synthetic evaluation. And what a synthetic evaluation means is it's not just plugging the number in and solving it. So the first way you guys could do this is you could just plug in the number and solve it for x. So if f of x equals x cubed plus 3x squared minus 7, and we want to find where f of negative 3, what it's going to equal, well, then we could just plug it in. F of negative 3 equals negative 3 cubed plus 3 times negative 3 squared minus 7, which that means that f of negative 3 is going to equal negative 27 plus 3 times 9 minus 7. And again, f of negative 3 is going to equal, well then, negative 27 plus 3 times 7, or 3 times 9 is 27. Well, that's just going to leave us with negative 7. Now that's the first way you could do it. That's just your standard plugging it in way of solving that. The next way that I'm going to show you is synthetic evaluation. And what you do for synthetic evaluation, I'm going to erase this piece, give myself some room. So synthetic evaluation, what you're first going to do is you're going to make a little half box. And then you're going to take down the value that you have, so f of negative 3, and I'm going to put that negative 3 on the outside. Now what you have to go do is you have to make sure that your variables are in order from highest degree to lowest degree. So x cubed, x squared, nothing, no variable on it. So I'm going to rewrite this as x cubed plus 3x squared, and I need to get that x in there. So what would my x be? Well, it would be 0x, and then I have minus 7. And the reason I want to do that is I need to go in order down here to my smallest exponent, and we need to look at all of the coefficients that go with those exponents, goes with those variables. So that first coefficient there is 1, my next coefficient is 3, my third coefficient is 0, and my last coefficient is negative 7. So notice where I get those numbers, 1, 3, 0, negative 7. Now, let's actually do the synthetic division. So first thing we do is we always bring down that first number. Now I'm going to take that number and I'm going to multiply it by negative 3. Well, 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Now I'm going to add those two numbers. So 3 plus negative 3 is 0. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. Add those again. Multiply. Oops. I don't know where I got negative 3 from there. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. So we add those up, and we will end up with, lo and behold, negative 7. Got the same answer. That's synthetic evaluation. Now let's talk about synthetic division. Now what we're going to do is very similar to what we just did with synthetic evaluation. So first thing I need to make sure I have is I need to have my box. Now we're going to look at the numbers we're dividing by. So this is the polynomial, that we're dividing by. And I want to look at what value makes that 0. So what value makes x plus 3 equal 0? Well, negative 3 does. Another trick you could look at is, okay, what's the opposite of this part right here? Now the trick with synthetic division is that it's only going to work with a linear number, or linear polynomial. So your x can only be x. It can't be x squared, x cubed, x to the fourth. It has to be a regular x to the first power. So all we have to do is look at what makes that 0. Well, when it's just x there plus 3, all we have to do is do the opposite of that 3. It's only going to work when our x is just x. All right, now again, we need to look and make sure our polynomial is listed in order from highest degree to lowest degree, which this one is. And then we look at our coefficients. We bring those down, so we get 3, 17, 21, negative 11. First start out, always first bring down that first value. Now we multiply. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. We add those two, so we get 8. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. We add those two, we get negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Add those two, and we have negative 2 left. Now, the way we write our actual answer, because that's not really an actual answer, is this box part, this last part, that's always going to be our remainder. And then from there, we're going to go up. So this is going to be our constant, this one. This is going to be our regular x, and this is going to be our x squared. So we go from left to right, we go remainder, constant, and then first degree, second degree, and so on and so forth if we have the leftover parts. So what our actual solution here is 3x squared plus 8x minus 3 plus negative 2, and then remember the remainders be negative 2 over, and this is what we're actually dividing by, is the x plus 3 comes down, and that's what we're dividing by. So there's my actual solution to my synthetic division. I know that's a little tricky once you guys see it for the first time, but let's show you guys another example so you guys can see what I mean. All right, so again, start out, make our little box. What makes this bottom part 0? Negative 2. Are my numbers listed in order, the degree from biggest to smallest? Yep, but we are missing a piece, aren't we? We're missing the x squared. So we have 0 x squareds. So our coefficients are 2, 0, 5, negative 4. 2, 0, 5, negative 4. Now the biggest mistake that people are going to make there is they are not going to put that 0 in. So I'm going to show you what happens if I didn't put that 0 in there. So we have negative 2 on the outside, 2, 5, negative 4. So if I didn't have that 0 in that place, I'd bring down the 2. Negative 2 times negative, or sorry, 2 would be negative 4. Add those, I get 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Put that there, negative 6. So I'd end up with 2x plus 1 plus negative 6 over x plus 2. That's what my wrong solution would be. Now let's show you the right solution so you guys can see how far off it really was when I did it the wrong way. So I'm going to bring down the 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Bring down, add those, so we get negative 4. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8. Add those, we get 13. Negative 2 times negative 13 is negative 26. Add those, we get negative 30. So our actual solution to this is 2x squared minus 4x plus 13 plus 30, sorry, negative 30 over x plus 2. There's our actual solution. Look at how different these two are. The key here is to make sure that you get this part right here with that 0. You need to count down. Really start out your leading degree is 3. Count down from 3, 2, 1, 0, making sure you have a coefficient for each of those degrees. All right, now let's look at a tougher problem. If we look at this, the denominator there, we don't have just x plus a number. But since x is just a first degree, all we need to do to find out what number we need to put on the outside of our synthetic division is take 2x plus 1 and set it equal to 0. Solving that, we'll get x equals negative 1/2. So we still can do this because our x is the degree of 1. All we have to do is put out the outside there as negative 1/2. Now again, we go find our coefficients, counting down 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we have fourth degree, our coefficient is 10. Our third degree, our coefficient is 9. Our second degree, our coefficient is negative 4. Our first degree coefficient is 3. And our 0th degree, our coefficient is negative 8. So 10, 9, negative 4, 3, negative 8. Start out by bringing down our 10. Now we're going to multiply it by negative 1/2. So we'll get negative 5. 9 plus negative 5 is 4. Negative 1/2 times 4 is negative 2. Negative 4 plus negative 2 is negative 6. Negative 1/2 times a negative 6 is a positive 3. Add those up. So we have negative 1/2 times 6 is negative 3. Add negative 8 plus negative 3 and we get negative 11. Now again, that's our remainder. Go our way up. So we're going to end up with the highest degree of this is going to be 10x cubed plus 4x squared minus 6x plus 6 plus negative 11 divided by 2x plus 1. All right, these last two problems I want you guys to try on your own, and I'll put up the answers in a second. All right, here are the solutions I got. Make sure on that second one that you guys do not forget that 0x cubed and that 0x. If you guys got different answers, probably that's where you made your mistake. So make sure you check your answer. Make sure you let me know if you guys have any questions. That's all we're going to do for this video. So make sure you rewatch any parts you need to. Let me know if you have any questions.